What is up, folks? This is Johnny Bnq Jivening coming back at you with another episode of the Bnq and Goof show. Before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe and check out all our other channels in the description below. But getting right into it today. Last night, Sixers lose to the Louise, what am I talking? The Sixers lost to the Celtics. That game was on ABC last night. It was a game we were kind of, in the lead. In the third quarter, we were in the lead for, I think, most of the, first three quarters of the game. That's a tough loss, especially to a conference rival, a division rival. So that is not ideal, of course. But, it is what it is. And the Sixers are still, about the third seed, I believe. Last I checked is what their standings were in the conference. And, that's pretty much where we look. Only teams above us in the standings are currently, of course, the Celtics at number 1 and the Minnesota Bucks at number 2. And I can't remember exactly what our record against the Bucks are off the top of my head. I know we've played them at least once or twice this year. I think we lost one and maybe won one. I could be completely wrong on that. But I do know that our track record against the Celtics has not been that great this year. I can't remember if we even won a game against them so far. I know we played at least 2, maybe 3 games against them this year so far. Obviously, the season opener, we lose to them. And, of course, we lost to them last night. So, it makes you kind of wonder if the 76ers are, I hate to say that, are they in the elite level in the conference? Can they get past, those top 2 teams? Against the Bucks, I think maybe, but we haven't really shown an ability to beat the Celtics really at all this year. Because, it's one thing to beat them, but if we see them in the playoffs, then it's obviously a 7-game series, got to beat them 4 times. So, is this team capable of doing that? I don't know. It just from what I've seen in the regular season. Of course, playoffs in the regular season is exactly the same thing, but it's just it's hard to say. I don't have any reason other than just confidence in the team to really say that objectively I would see them beating the Celtics in the playoffs. So, and that's tough, but, and again, there's no reason to get too down on them. It hasn't even happened yet. There's no reason to get upset about them losing to the Celtics in the playoffs. Playoffs haven't even started yet. It's way too early to get, throw in the towel, obviously, but, it's a real one. Because, the Sixers have won against some of the top teams in the West, top playoff teams in the West. So, that they have title caliber potential. But it's just, I think the toughest challenge for us will be getting, even into the finals, getting out of the East, beating the Celtics. Because, I think we can beat every team below us in the standings in the East. I think we could beat a lot of those Western Conference, playoff level teams. But, obviously the biggest concern is being the Celtics, considering, we have a losing record against them in the regular season so far. And they haven't really seemed to be an incredibly beatable, team. So that's obviously it's obviously a problem going forward. But again, it's too late to really count them out. Hopefully we can, find a way to beat them when it counts in the playoffs. I just don't know what would we have to do differently. What the team really can do differently, given the current composition, other than just playing better, It's easy to say play better, but it's not, easy, and when you get to real application of that. But, we're still looking forward to seeing the Sixers go far. I'm sure they can make it to at least the conference finals this year. Moving on from there, we'll get, Drexel's championship season's coming up for, or conference championship, is kind of coming up for men's, women's basketball, wrestling. So, we're looking forward to that. I don't know what seed the women's team is in their conference tournament. I don't recall. I don't know if I even saw what seed they are. I know the men's team is a 5th seed. I don't know anything about the wrestling. I don't know who's seeded and who's not. I don't know what their kind of composition is there, because I know they have a different conference. So I really don't know when I think that's going to be next week for the wrestling conference tournament, but I could be completely wrong. It might have been this weekend. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's next weekend, but I'm not 100% sure. What else? That's really all I can think of for this week. Another short episode. There's kind of less going on. Phillies spring training got started this week. This weekend maybe. But I don't recall how those games went. I didn't actually get to watch them. I only saw the scores. But, it's spring training, so it doesn't really matter what the scores and what the results really were. That does remind me of something, though. The Philadelphia Union. They had their first game of the year, and they won 5-1 against the Columbus Crew, I think is who they played. I'm 99.9% sure. So they won 4-1. Great win. Great to get them back. Hopefully they're back in form from last season. We're hoping they're doing just as good, if not better. Because really the only way they could do better is, winning the championship, which, fingers crossed is what we're hoping for. So, but, that's really all I got for the show this week, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, giving it a like, giving me the subscription, checking out all of our other, merch store, the Patreon, the blogs, all that stuff. Make sure to check that stuff out. Let's go Sixers. Let's go Drexel. Let's go Union. What is up, folks? This is Johnny Bnq coming back.